We've been getting hyped about a lot of gacha games recently. Duet Night Abyss, Unending Dawn, Project Mugen, Arknights, Enfield, Wang Yua, there are so many fantastic looking gacha games on the immediate horizon. So many that I don't think I'll have enough space on my phone to actually successfully play. But for every great looking gacha game, there is 100 horrible looking gacha games, and I'm curious what people thought were the worst gacha games currently. So I did what no person should do. I searched Reddit for the answer, and the results, well, let's go ahead and take a look. What game, in your opinion, is the worst gacha game that you have played? Some of us at least experience it once in a while. The top rated comment is those anime ad clickbait auto battle gacha games. I played once when I was young, and now I realize most of them are the same. That is actually accurate. These are the kinds of gacha games that you see advertised as beautiful games, beautiful waifus, and you get into it and it's the most generic auto battle, auto clicking BS that you'll find. Evertale, yeah, I mean, that's another case of false advertising though. Yeah, for those of you that aren't aware, they advertise themselves all over social media as a Pokemon game, literally a horror Pokemon game. When you get into it, it's just a generic like creature collector, waifu collector gacha. By itself, not a bad game, pretty mediocre, but in addition to its disingenuous advertising campaigns, yeah, it's bad. Age of Ishtaria, which is basically all the proof you need on why trading units between players in gacha is a bad idea. I've actually never heard of Age of Ishtaria. I feel like though it's gonna be some like resource management, like, you know what, maybe not. Maybe not. This is actually not what I expected. It's not, honestly, it's not a very pretty looking game though. Food Fantasy. Hold on, wait, someone actually said Food Fantasy is a bad gacha game? Admittedly, I've never played it, but it looked kind of cute from what I saw. Great art with, yeah, exactly, with a great story, but with very pay to win ranking events. So, okay, so it's pay to win, that's why it's bad. Valkyrie Connect. So the gacha is really bad, understandable. Sin Alice, very boring. Like, see, I don't think it was really boring, at least not at the beginning. I understand that it wasn't everyone's cup of tea though, absolutely no problem. The gacha animations were annoying. I mean, again, understandable. I don't think it was the worst gacha, far stretch from the worst gacha to me. Any of those portrait mode auto MMORPGs where you get like 100 levels within the first 10 minutes of playing. Yeah, kind of like that Isekai slime game that launched recently. I know exactly what they're talking about. The worst gacha has been Mario Kart Tour. The controls were utter crap. Well, you're playing a racing game on mobile. If you're using your thumbs for it, like, yeah, it's understandable why the controls are crap. One Punch Man and Metal Slug Attack, both power creep units like crazy. I mean, that's actually kind of semi-common, I think, in anime adapted gacha games, so that makes sense. Yeah, see, anime-based gacha games are always the worst. Exactly. Like, I actually just played Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains earlier today, and I'm playing the Rise of the Shield Hero or something tomorrow. And admittedly, this video is going live probably after I've already done those videos, but man, were they fucking horrific. Now, before we go any further, following that, I know, very, very honest statement, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon, allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this for a living. You guys are so much better than the majority of these gacha games listed here. Street Fighter Duel, an absolute disaster of a free-to-play experience. See, I think graphically that game was okay. I never played it though because it didn't appeal to me, but I understand there were a lot of people that were upset with it. Kingdom Hearts Unchained, yeah, so I can see that. Memento Mori, they baited me so much. Like, that's not a bad game. That's a very auto game. It is a very auto game. It's also one of the, I think, like, generally the 15 highest grossing gacha games every single month, which is crazy. but I feel like there's an immense power creep in Memento Mori. I'm not gonna contest that opinion, but at the same time, it's beautiful with great music, and I think that is enough to at least make it semi-tolerable. At least it was until I stopped playing it. Echoes of Mana. See, I honestly, I think that actually, didn't that shut down? My Hero Academia, Strongest Heroes, or Strongest Wallet, which was a meme at the time. Again, another anime adapted gacha game. What did you expect? Limbus Company, Limbus Company? Worst gacha ever? Really? Okay, I don't see that. How badly optimized it is. I thought Limbus Company was very fun. I played it for a couple days and probably like 5 or 6 hours over the course of those few days. And I actually thought it was very complex, very deep, very compelling. Memento Mori, again, yep. Fate Grand Order, but I think the majority of the player base can agree that while the story can be worth sticking with the game, many of the game systems are bad, especially, yeah, I can agree. I've put dozens of hours into Fate Grand Order, and I completely agree. The story is convoluted at times and probably drawn out way too much, but I mean, so is Arc Knights, and it's one of my favorite gacha games. And the gacha aspect specifically, horrible. Totally agreed. The one with the VIP system, regardless of gameplay, the experience is terrible. I feel like a lot of gacha games will have VIP systems, so what you're saying is literally most of them. Although I do think VIP systems along with gacha, like that's a bit egregious in my opinion. I never played it, but what does everyone think about Summoner's War? I mean, that does, okay. 42 upvotes saying, I never played this game, but what do you think about? Okay, very on topic. Valkyrie Connect, there's another one for that. Disney Mirrorverse, they actually sponsored me to do a dedicated video, and then when it came to doing the video, they had me sit down and they said, we want you to follow this very specific script where we want you to look into a mirror and act like there are 2 versions of yourself. Record yourself, your reflection in the mirror, and then record yourself talking to your reflection in the mirror. You had to follow very strict guidelines for it with a very strict script. And I was like, nah, I'm good. So I didn't play their game and I never worked with them again. Oh, this one is actually collapsed. I'm curious why. Why is the Tower of Fantasy one collapsed? What? Tower of Fantasy was fun at first. The longer I played, the less fun it became. I mean, I understand that, despite it at least looks decent. Another one for Valkyrie Connect. Fate Grand Order. Oof, this is gonna upset some people. The events are annoying because they always have long farming conditions. Well, I mean, it's a farming game. Like, it makes sense. Fate Grand Order. Okay, I'm seeing a couple saying Fate Grand Order, but Fate Grand Order is also one of the highest, like, always every month in the 5 highest grossing gacha games. So, Skullgirls? I've never heard of that. Idle Moon Rabbit? Never heard of that. Clash Royale. See, I can see that. Idle Heroes? Because of VIP and power creep, understandable. Fate Grand Order, another one. Looks and gameplay look like from 2010. It's just awful to look at and play. I mean, he's not wrong. Let's be honest here. It does definitely look dated, but I don't think it's a bad game to play. The Tales gacha are the worst. Not gonna contest that. King Sense, haven't heard of that one. King's Raid. Dude, King's Raid is surviving on like $10,000 a month. I don't know how they're doing it. Any gacha game with PvP. Can confirm PvP in gacha games, absolutely horrible experience. Should not exist. Dragon Ball Legends, Tower of God game, the one that released, sponsored me, and then removed my sponsored video several months later. Yeah, that one I can agree with. Evertale, again, completely get it. Knight's Chronicle, that sounds familiar. Grand Blue Fantasy, oh, he's gonna upset some people. Limbus Company is one of those games where it's one of the best gacha games if you're playing on PC. Playing on Lobo, pray to go. I mean, I guess this is, multiple people now have said Limbus Company purely because of the phone optimization. I played it on PC, so maybe that's where my opinion is kind of skewered a little bit. Fate Grand Order, there's another one. One Piece Treasure Cruise, actually never heard of that. I heard of Bounty Rush. Fire Emblem Heroes, which admittedly is one of the highest grossing gacha games of all time. I think like top 10, top 5. I think it made over like $7 billion or something, if memory serves. And then this guy goes, the good gacha that I enjoyed the least is Epic 7. So it's a good gacha. So it's like, this is my least favorite good gacha. So it's still good. It's like, the guy that's like, all these foods are delicious, but this is the least delicious food that I would still eat. My Hero Ultra Impact, another anime adaptation. I was waiting for this. I'm surprised it took until the bottom, literally the bottom of the page, to get to a mention of Genshin Impact. It took only half the page to get to Tower Fantasy. It took 2/3, maybe actually 4/5 of the page to get to Genshin Impact. It was bound to have dislike. I mean, I actually don't think it's that bad. Almost every anime IP gacha, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's another Genshin Impact. Definitely not Nika. I think Nika has a great story. I think Nika has some great quality waifus. I think it has some really good voice acting. And honestly, I think they've shown that they do kind of care about their community. They've given so many free roles recently for characters. It is insane. And then I think this one right here is one that every single person can agree with and summarizes everyone, I think's thoughts on gacha. Every fucking single idol gacha game. I think we could just end this right there, because again, that completely summarizes everything. To me, I played a lot of bad gacha games. I played a lot of good gacha games. I played a lot of mediocre gacha games. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a single definitive worst. Okay, you know what? No, that's a lie. I would say the recent Tokyo Ghoul Break the Bonds, whatever that game was called, is probably the worst gacha game that I played. Or that slime one that I did a video on a little while ago. Maybe actually, no, Devil May Cry Peak of Combat, by far the worst gacha game I've ever played. There you go. Now I am curious though what your guys' thoughts are on the worst gacha right now, the worst gacha you've ever played, whether it's shut down, whether it's currently live. Let me know down in the comments. Now if you're looking for something new to play, I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that hopefully might be of interest to some of you.